What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edged Mindset. Got a different video for you today. We're going to be taking apart this Chaves Knives Scapegoat Street and swapping out the pocket clip from the alternative clip right here back to the OG skull clip. I swapped this out early on just to see how it would be, and you know what? I've got to have that skull on there. I also put out a poll on my YouTube channel to see which one people prefer. Overwhelmingly, people went skull, but none of that matters. None of that matters because I asked my wife, and my wife said skull. So we're going back to skull. We're going to be using a T8 Torx bit. That's what this takes for everything, which is awesome. Oh, right. One more point before I keep going on here. So Chaves recently went back to the hidden screws on the pocket clip. So the older version, like this, you would just take them off right here, swap out that clip. People didn't like the look of these screws, which I agree with, but that means there's a little more work in swapping these out because you actually have to disassemble the whole knife to get to the hidden screws on the back. Personally, I think it's worth it. It looks so much cleaner without having those screws there. So let's get into it. So first you take off these scales here. Now, if this was a regular scapegoat, it wouldn't have a scale on it, wouldn't have the bolster lock. You would just take the two screws, I believe it's two screws, towards the back here, just like this guy, and kind of disassemble it that way. Because of this, there's a little more involved. So now we have access to those same two screws once you take this off. Here's a little side note. I said I wasn't going to talk. Look at me yapping. See this little milling hole right there? That actually fits into the pin that goes through the back spacer and through these two liners or bolster lock liners and into that scale. So it's really cool because this keys in right here and you don't have to worry about it sloshing around. So really good construction on these knives. Everything is like dialed in so well. So now these just go all the way through. They're longer screws all the way through into the other side. And that's what holds it together. Remove those. Then we can pop this off. And here is the main scale there. You can see everything going on. It's got extra holes because of the scales. Here is the closed stop pin. There is the open stop pin. This uses a double stop pin system. Ideally, when putting this back together, it's best to have both of these on this side here, just so, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? And then we've got this pin here that holds that together. Then we simply remove these bad boys here that are holding in the actual pocket clip. This is going remarkably smooth. It can be difficult to do this on a camera. Not only the lack of speaking thing, but trying to keep stuff in frame. So this is the only, I wouldn't say tricky part, but this is the only somewhat, you know, because this actually just sits flat. So you have to kind of manually line up those holes there. Once again, easier to do when you're not in front of a camera. We get it? We get it? We got it. So I'm going to put those in lightly at first. And then put a little more juice on it once I get them both kind of in there. Okay, so now they're in there. Go back to the first one. Tighten it up. Real easy to do, guys. And this is even, like I said, a more complicated version of most Chaves knives because of the... Okay, so we got everything good here. Here's where you want to stop and pause before you put it back together. Make sure you've got your bearing race there. Make sure you've got your steel insert in here, because I can't even begin to explain how many times I've gone to put it back together and realize I left one of those parts out, and then I've got to redo it. Let's do, oh, see, I did it. I didn't put the back spacer in. I didn't put the pin in. See what I'm talking about? Even after I said that. Okay, so now we got that. We missing anything else? No, I think we're good now. Let's pop this bad boy on. Let's get this thing kind of a little bit settled here. What do we have going on now? Okay. Okay. we're good there. There, put that in. It likes to switch the pocket clip a lot. You may find that annoying, but if you're not, I think you're going to appreciate those hidden screws. Like I said, this is going to key right into that, and then this is pretty self-explanatory. This step would be skipped if you weren't working on a configuration that had a scale like this. And we are good to go. There it is, back to the skull configuration, smooth as butter. No play, no lock slip, centered, good to go. All right, guys, let me know down below if you like watching things like this, if you find any interest in it. I realize it's not a super engaging video or breaking any ground, but I do this kind of stuff a lot. I tinker with my knives on a low level. I don't do any like heavy modding. Sometimes I'll do some stonewashing or, you know, some different things, and I usually just don't film it because it's difficult a lot of the times. This is easy, but more in-depth tinkering videos is a little more difficult. But if people like to watch it, 100%, I'm down for making it. So let me know down below if you like tinkering videos, takedown videos, that kind of stuff. All right, guys, appreciate all the support. Take care. I'll talk to you later.